Well, howdy folks, how's it going today? I hope you're all doing really good. Well, we got a different kind of a guitar on the bench here today. This is a Vega electric guitar, 6-string. It's got two humbuckers in it. Looks like DiMarzio possibly to me. This is a mahogany body, double cutaway. Not like a Strat though, it kind of reminds me of like a Music Man maybe. And it looks to be volume, tone, with a 3-way switch, and there's two mini toggles too as well. I'm not sure what those do. I'm guessing maybe splitter or series or parallel or something. I don't know. I'll try to figure that out as we go along. So what the issue is with this one is between the second volume and tone pot, the guitar body cracked in between them, and somebody has taken the time to fill it in and repair it, but it's kind of unsightly, so we're going to put a piece of aluminum plate over both the holes and basically make like a little thing like a Telecaster tone plate would look like. We'll round the corners off and whatnot. And that will be just on the bottom set of knobs. The top set are just, holes through the body, basically, with no plate or anything around them. But there was a plate on the bottom by the looks of it, or maybe somebody added that after the fact. But in any case, we're going to take a piece of aluminum here that I found kicking around in the shop. It's thin, maybe 1/16 of an inch. And it should work pretty good. I've got it marked out, and I'm going to cut it out, in a rectangle shape, and I'll just round the corners off, and then we'll have to locate the two holes and put it back together. So not a real tough job, but it's a little different. I don't have the piece, or they actually don't make the piece that goes there, so I'm going to have to make it up as I go. And, that's kind of fun. I like doing stuff like this. It keeps it interesting. It ain't just the same old string change and setup and that kind of stuff. All right, let's get her cut out, and we'll get to work. Okay, so I'm just using a hacksaw blade. Just the blade. I did have it in the actual saw itself here. This is a kind of a different kind of hacksaw. This is for doing stuff in close quarters. It works good, but you don't have a lot of throw, so you can only cut so deep. So now I just got a brand new hacksaw blade in my hand, and I'm just moving along nice and easy, trying to keep that line nice and straight. Yeah, it's a little time consuming, but if you want it right without destroying the piece, sometimes you just gotta slow down and do it the hard way. I'm used to it. Okay, well, we got it cut the long way so far. It's coming out pretty good. I'm sure I'm gonna get a ton of comments on how I could have cut this with machine tools and all that stuff. Just be assured I definitely have different capabilities to do this in the shop, but when I can demonstrate something that the average homeowner can do, a guitar owner I should say, with minimal tools, I like to demonstrate it, and just to show you guys that you can do a lot of this stuff on your own. Okay, so I finished the last little cut in the vise. I did most of it just holding it in my hand. You guys were able to check that out, but I did finish it in the vise. That last little cut just made it a little easier. So now I'm just going to clean up the burrs and stuff off the plate, and I'll do that with a flat file. Just make sure the cuts are nice and square and straight now, and then we'll trace the corners out and put a little round on the corners. And then we'll see how it fits. We'll drill 2 holes, one in each end, and countersink them, then put 2 screws in, and that should do it. Okay, so out comes the old flat file here. I'm just going to take these burrs off very lightly. I really don't want to scratch one side of it if I can help it, because I'm going to try to polish this up too. So I'm just going to use this side, I guess, as the finished side. And I'm just filing the edges along the longest part of this cover plate. Trying to square everything up, because obviously you can't do precision work with a hacksaw, so. But it did cut it nice and smooth and straight for the most part. I'm not complaining. Alright, so I'm just filing the ends up now and squaring them up. Like I said, once we get everything squared up on the ends, we'll radius the corners off here, so it looks, you know, like a Telecaster control plate. That's really what we're going for here. Alright, that looks pretty square. I could go a little bit more, I guess, on this end. I'll just hit it with a file a couple more times here. Alright, I think we got something we can live with here. Alright, now we're going to make some rounded corners. Just going to take a drill bit here, and I'm just going to trace around the outside edge of it on each corner. Just give me a little bit of a reference so I know how much to take off to round the corners. I'm not going to do a real pronounced round. I just want to kind of knock some of that sharpness off them. Okay, so I'm just taking my flat file, laying it right on the bench flat here, and dragging this aluminum plate across it and just kind of turning it as I go to put a rounded corner on each corner of it. That's working pretty good. Like I said, I'm not going to go a lot. I am just going to put a slight round on them just so they're not sharp, and try to make them symmetrical if I can. Okay. The first pass you make across there with a file is pretty dry, but the second pass is better, and then it starts to get quite smooth. Okay. Well, I'd say that's okay. I might put just a little bit more round on them, but they feel good right there. Okay, let's see what it looks like. As you can see around these two control pots here, that somebody definitely had a plate there of some sort. But this is what we're going to do right here. It's going to be something like that. And setting it on the guitar, it looks pretty good. It's covering all that stuff at least. And it'll hold the pots without, you know, cracking in between each hole where these bottom two potentiometers are, because that's really the weak spot right now. It's been fixed, but still quite thin. So I think this will definitely take care of it, and it'll be structurally sound for sure. Alright, I got a couple holes drilled in her there, lined up really nice, so I think we're going to be good to go on that. The next thing I'm going to do is fish the pots up through and check everything and make sure it covers this ghosting around here. And then once that's done, I'll locate a couple screw holes out on the ends of the plate so we can mount it to the guitar. But we're just going to check the fit of it right now. So the owner told me that the controls are still inside the cavity here, so we'll flip it over and push those up through and see how everything fits. Okay, well, the pots come up through, holes are centered, and the plate that we made is covering all the old existing ghost lines here, so I think it's going to look a lot better. I think what we're going to do now is just clean it up and bring it up to a little shine. And if the owner wants to paint it black or anything, he could do that, but it does have chrome and there is quite a bit of black, so For my part of the deal, I'm just going to clean it up, give it a little shine, and it's pretty much just putting the nut and washers on the pots here. And like I said before, I'm going to drill a hole in each end of this plate so we can screw it to the guitar, and it'll be mounted there and won't move. Okay, let's just take some micro mesh here. This isn't a really low grit. This is probably about, I don't know, 600 grit, something like that. This aluminum scratches pretty easy, so I didn't want to come in with like 320 or anything like that. 600 will even leave scratches, but just get the heavy lifting done here at first, and then we'll start polishing it up with some higher grit, like 1,000, maybe up to 3,500 or something like that, and that should do it. Okay. All right. That won't look too bad. Let's go to 1,000 grit and see if we can get a little shine going. This is tempered aluminum. It's really, really strong stuff too. I'm not even sure what this came from, but I save all kinds of stuff, folks, just for that one purpose. I save too much stuff, really, honestly, but all of a sudden, when I need something really obscure and I need to make a piece or something, I usually can find what I need just looking around the shop. It takes a while to dig through the mess, but it is rewarding when you do have a piece. You don't have to order it, and you don't have to drive anywhere to go get it. Okay, that's looking better. Let's try some 3,000 here now. And that should probably bring us into where we want to be. Like I said, I don't know if the owner wants to leave this shiny or if he wants to paint it black. That will be up to him. I was just commissioned to make this cover-up plate, basically. All right. Well, not bad. I may polish it one more time. After I drill the holes, I'm going to have to clean up any burrs, for the screws that are going to hold the plate to the guitar. So I probably will get those marked out next. But I think what I'll do is put this plate back on the guitar, put the pots up through it, so I know where the plate's going to be, and then it'll help me kind of mark those holes out too. All right, let's get to it. Okay, so everything lines up good here. Definitely is a lot more strong in that area in between here. We don't have to worry about them pots breaking that space out in between where the holes are here, between the volume and the tone. It's quite a big plate, but there was quite a big thing to cover up. So, like I said, maybe he'll want to paint this black. That's totally up to him. I'm just making the plate. So I'm going to mark, I've already marked out my holes for the screws to attach it to the guitar. It holds on quite well, even just with the pots in it too. So, but I think it's only right to put the screws in. That way when you're changing your pots, it'll stay there, and it's like an extra set of hands. Okay, so that's what it looked like when it showed up. And you can see there's some like thin cratery stuff going on in between the pots where it's been glued. So we're just trying to cover that, strengthen it with the plate, and also cover this old ghosting from the original square plate or the plate that somebody may have installed at another time. So that's what it looked like before, and with the plate it looks like that. Yeah, it's kind of a big plate, a little unorthodox looking, but it does look better than what was there. And again, if you wanted to paint that would probably look just fine. I think it looks kind of cool like that. It's different. Makes you kind of take notice of the guitar, actually. Okay, so I'm going to take an awl, which is basically just a screwdriver that's been sharpened to a point. And that's what I'm going to use to align these holes. And that works pretty good. Get you started. Now I just got to find a couple screws and we can lock that down. Alright, found a couple screws. You guitar repair guys know how sacred screws can be. It's always something that you seem to have to dig around for, isn't it? I got a little stash going of pick guard screws and that kind of stuff, and that's like my most prized possession in the shop. All right, well, that's going to conclude that. The owner has the knobs and probably the washers and stuff too that goes to these, but at the end of the day, it looks better than what was going on there. Again, I don't know. I'm still up in the air on painting it black or leaving it shiny, but it looks pretty industrial, I guess is the word. A lot of switches and knobs right in that little area, so I think it's cool. Alright, well, thanks again for watching, folks. This was just kind of an odd job that just showed up, and I guess I was the guy for the job, so I'm happy with it, I guess, as long as the owner is. You know, if he isn't, maybe we can come up with something different. I would have liked to have made these more round on the ends instead of just rounding the corners, but you got to play the cards you dealt, folks. The old ghost lines wouldn't have got covered up as good as they are now, so you got to do what you got to do. Okay, well, thanks again. We'll see you guys real soon. Be good. Okie doke.